100 years of homecoming means 100 years of tradition. From fountain dyeing to the Harvest Carnival, walk around the Sea of Orange Parade. It's those traditions that make Oklahoma State's homecoming America's greatest.
We don't claim to be the oldest. We don't necessarily claim to be the largest, but we do claim to be the greatest.
Yes, other groups do pomps, decorations, other groups do parades, other groups, but I don't think you'll find another institution that quite does it the way that we do it.
It's the tradition that makes Oklahoma State University's homecoming so special.
The house decorations date back to the 1920s when the sororities first decorated their doors to welcome alumni back. Those have obviously grown over the years.
And then the group started pairing, which then you had more people that could help build the different things. So it just kind of started slowly growing to what it is today.
Those modest door decorations have evolved into extravagant house decks, made out of simple materials and a precise technique.
So pomping is where you wrap chicken wire around a structure and then take tissue paper and wad it up and put it inside the little holes of the chicken wire.
It's obviously gotten a lot more elaborate and technical over the years, and I would venture to say that OSU students are the experts in the field.
They actually use a software that Cross Stitch uses, and that is actually how they create the keys, so they know what color to put in each square to make it look the way that you see it now. That's how they get the detail.
And often many of them will work long into the night, if not a full 24 hours, which is where All Night Palm came to be.
We rented trolleys, and we took trolleys around at midnight, and we would invite university VIPs to ride on the trolleys, and we would go to 4 or 5 of the house decks and get out on All Night Pomp and urge them to finish.
The finished decorations transform the Greek neighborhood into a spectacle, drawing thousands of visitors from the OSU and Stillwater communities to what we now refer to as walk around.
Walk around is kind of like one big gigantic family reunion, because you walk up and down the streets and see people that you haven't seen for years, and there's tons of hugging, and so the house decks set the background for that and really make our alumni feel welcome.
We routinely have upwards of 80,000 people come to see Walk Around in those 4 hours that the streets are closed. It's just one of our most significant experiences here for OSU's homecoming, and probably our greatest tradition related to homecoming.
Some traditions, like Walk Around, go back decades. Other traditions have been added in more recent years.
One of the traditions that we have now that started when we started actually having the walk on Saturday, where the football players start at the Atherton and walk down Hester Street.
One of the student executives at that time, Meghan McElroy, and Meghan just had this vision of painting spirit slogans on the street and so forth.
The sign competition that we do on Library Lawn is a very big tradition now, and we have normally over 50 student organizations, residential halls, and Greek life organizations that produce amazing signs.
The signs provide a nice backdrop for fountain dyeing, which marks the official start of homecoming.
So around '99, there was a student that was involved in homecoming planning who took it upon himself to really try to see if he could make this happen. The fountain is such an iconic piece within our campus. He really thought it would be a neat idea to color it orange and have that spirited kind of piece of homecoming.
And there you go, it's official! We are in homecoming week of 2019.
It just brings together so many OSU symbols, from homecoming, which obviously we're celebrating the centennial this year, to America's Brightest Orange. So I think being able to tie that orange spirit into the kicking off of homecoming every year is probably my favorite homecoming tradition.
Another favorite tradition, the Sea of Orange Parade, which isn't complete without a grand marshal.
Some of the notables that we remember are Bob Kurland, the famous OSU basketball player, the first 7-footer in college basketball, Allie P. Reynolds, for which OSU's longtime stadium was named after.
We had Garth Brooks, Barry Sanders, and Robin Ventura. They all joint Grand Marshaled that year. They were also inducted into the Alumni Hall of Fame at that same time.
This year we're looking forward to having back Burns and Ann Hargis. They'll be the Grand Marshals for this year's centennial.
It's the tradition that makes OSU's homecoming so special, and why it's been the greatest for 100 years.
To be here for the centennial celebration for me has just been such an honor, really. Who would have ever thought when I was a student that I would be able to be part of this in this way?
It's been an incredible experience, and homecoming is obviously one of our favorite times of year. Being able to be here and see it happen, especially having to postpone it through the COVID-19 pandemic, it's just been really a highlight of my career here.
For State Magazine, I'm Megan Robinson.